what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power! Fight the power!
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
So, what is black and white thinking? Black and white thinking is a pattern of thought characterized by thinking in the extremes. Everything is always the worst day ever or the very best day ever. You know, we think of things in their absolutes. It's a polarized way of thinking. And it messes us up because it makes our emotions more extreme than they need to be. Black and white thinking is also known as all or nothing thinking. It interferes with our ability to have healthy emotions and relationships. Signs that you might be using black and white thinking is if you use words like always, never, terrible, ruined, furious, or you try to make things out to be worse than they were. Like, I mean, you might have actually had a bad day, but it was the worst day ever, or some things might have gone wrong, and you might say, nothing went right, right? So we're taking something and we're making it out to be more exaggerated than it already was. Now, why does black and white thinking mess us up? Well, the way we think affects our emotions. And if we're thinking in an exaggerated manner, then our emotions are going to swing rapidly from one extreme to the other. People with anxiety or depression tend to think in extremes. And we can combat anxiety, depression, and other mental illnesses by having more realistic, honest, or moderate thinking patterns. Black and white thinking makes the problem worse than it already was. Black and white thinking creates helplessness. If my husband is a complete jerk, the biggest jerk in the whole world, then it makes no sense for me to try and change myself or improve myself because nothing is ever going to work. See that black and white thinking in there and how that's going to contribute to problems in my relationships? Another reason black and white thinking messes us up is it invites defensiveness in others. So if you say to someone, you never do the dishes, they're going to feel attacked. Because that's not quite true. You're exaggerating how bad they are. Sure, they might miss doing the dishes, or they might have forgotten to do the dishes, or they might have intentionally not done the dishes that day or multiple days. But to say never exaggerates how bad they are, puts people on the defensive, and it just invites arguing and debating and fighting. The more extreme the statement, the more likely the other person is to feel attacked. If black and white thinking is so awful, then why do we do it? Now, I work under the assumption that everything we do serves some kind of function, right? Even if it's dysfunctional in the long run, we do it for some sort of reason. And black and white thinking does serve a function. It just doesn't work very well. So black and white thinking helps us feel like we're the victim of our circumstances, which is kind of comforting, right? Isn't it nice to think, well, poor me, you know, everything's out to get me. And black and white thinking excuses us from having to do the difficult work of taking action and changing ourselves. So if my job...
My goodness. The difficult action of changing ourselves. See, that clip just makes me feel like people always asking for a relationship, but when the work shows up in the relationship, that's when they start second guessing. I didn't sign up for this. Yes, you did. If you ask for a relationship, you are asking for this type of work because that's par for the course in relationships. And she was talking about black and white thinking, and it leads us to our topic tonight: when keeping it real goes wrong, a deeper look at how we personalize the impersonal. Cognitive distortions are characterized by misconceptions in communication brought on by exaggerated, irrational, or incongruent thought process. And what's crazy about all of that is you can see all of this manifested in a conflict, right? Everybody wants to be right. Nobody wants to listen. Everybody wants to make their point, right? It becomes more of a contest of just getting something off their chest than it is gaining understanding, gaining context. And many times, because we have this delusional view of relationships, and, you know, the moment the image of that person is cracked in any type of way, oh, the relationship is done. The relationship is done. Now, listen to what I said. The relationship is done. That doesn't necessarily mean the transactions are done. You know, they may continue to extrapolate, you know, supply from you, but the relationship part is done, because many people are in a relationship with the image. Now, what's so cold about this is we delve into assumptions. Oh my goodness gracious. Personalization leads you to believe that you're responsible for events that in reality are completely or partially out of your control. We do that through black and white thinking. We personalize. Are you talking about me? You understand? Catastrophizing is related to jumping to conclusions. Assumptions. Many people catastrophize in relationship, blowing a situation up bigger than what it actually is, right? Catastrophizing is related to jumping to conclusions. In this case, you jump to the worst possible conclusion in every scenario, no matter how improbable it is, right? And then polarized, black and white thinking, right, is thinking about yourself and the world in an all or nothing kind of way. All right. When you engage in polarized thinking, everything is either or. It's either or. Right or wrong, good or bad, moral or immoral, right? You put them in the either or categories. This might make you miss the complexity, the nuance, the context, right, of most people and situations. Here's a big one. Shoulds are subjective. Ironclad rules you set for yourself and others without considering the specifics of a circumstance. You should have did this. If it were me, I would have done this. You're not even in the situation. Right? This is a cold situation. This is what's happening in many relationships. And oftentimes, because these points haven't been, pointed out, right? We know something is ajar. However, we don't know exactly what it is until somebody points it out. So shoulds are subjective, ironclad rules set for yourself and others without considering the specifics of a circumstance. Or when they say specifics, they're talking about the context, all the details, all the information, the nuance, all of it. You may believe you're trying to motivate yourself with these statements such as, I should go to the gym every day. However, when circumstances change and you can't do what you should, you become angry or upset. Now, that might seem like a small thing, but life is about constant. Listen, the highest form of intelligence is to be able to observe without judgment. Sometimes you have to observe the changes in life and not judge it, right? So you can move forward with the least amount of friction, right? Another way to say that is the highest form of intelligence, right, is synonymous with adaptability. You have to be able to adapt. And it's difficult to adapt when you see things in black and white, right and wrong, good and bad. I should have been at the gym by now. How many times you seen people, life push them past what they should have done, and they're into something else because life pushed them into some other space, and they're still ruminating about what they should have done. Right? Come on. Right? Fallacy. Here's another one. The fallacy of fairness means measuring every behavior and situation on a scale of fairness. Again, fairness is on a spectrum, and it's vacillating constantly, right? Finding that other people don't assign the same value of fairness to the event makes you resentful. In other words, you believe you know what's fair and what isn't, not only for yourself, but for other people. And it upsets you when other people disagree with you. The fallacy of fairness will lead you to face conflict with certain people and situations because you feel the need for everything to be fair according to your own parameters. But fairness is rarely absolute and can often be self-serving. Oh my goodness. Are you going through this in your relationships? Do you need a little help? What are some ways that cognitive distortions, like black and white thinking, can lead to isolation and or toxic guilt and shame? What connections can be drawn from worthiness wounds, poor self-concept, and the tendency to over-personalize? Are you taking it personal? Is everything personal? How can one differentiate between a genuine critique and harmful criticism? What are some indicators that someone's critique is based in covert intentions or a personal vendetta? Tone, delivery, condescension. Conversely, how can it be determined that a person is not seeking to negatively impact another's self-confidence or undermine them? What role does attachment to outcomes and or transactionalism play in assessing the intentions of others? Are assumptions guiding the way we assess intent? And do accurate assumptions make someone a good judge of character? Is your relationship struggling from cognitive distortions, right? You take everything personal, black and white thinking. The rule of fairness, polarization, personalization, should-haves. Oh, my God. When we come forward, the voice of reason wants to speak to the nation. You know you've experienced this. Maybe you've done it. The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580. Let's get this discussion going.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. Tavis is like George and Wheezy. He's moving on up. Last year, Tavis was number 45 on the Talkers Magazine list of the 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America. Wait for it. Wait for it. The 2024 list was recently released, and Tavis has jumped to number 33 on the list of the nation's most important talkers, making him the highest-ranked African-American on the coveted roster. Congratulations to Tavis Smiley from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580. We've got you black. Helping to broaden your political and moral imagination with our 2024 climate justice campaign. We're KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
With this, I'm just gonna sit here laid back to this nice mellow beat, and drop some smooth lyrics. Cause it's 88, time to set it straight, you know what I'm saying? And there ain't no half stepping. Word, I'm ready. Rappers stepping to me, they wanna get some, but I'm the Kane, so yo, you know the outcome. Another victory, they can't get with me. So pick a BC date, cause you're history. I'm the authentic poet to get lyrical. For you to beat me, it's gonna take a miracle. And stepping to me, yo, that's a wrong move. So what you on, Hobbs? Dope or dog food? Competition, I just devour. Like a pit bull against a chihuahua. Cause when it comes to being dope, hot damn, I got it good. Now let me tell you who I am. The B-I-G-D-A-D-D-Y-K-A-N-E. Dramatic, Asiatic, not like many. I'm different, so don't compare me to another. Cause they can't hang, word to the mother. At least not with the principal in this pedigree. So when I roll on your rappers, you better be ready to die because you're petty. You're just a butter knife.
Hey guys, I'm the Thoughtful Beast, and I speak from the perspective of someone living with mental illness who is actively working on their recovery. Today I want to talk about the fallacy of fairness, which is a cognitive distortion. And first I want to say that in reading and researching this topic, it was weird because a lot of the sentiments were basically like,
life isn't fair. Suck it.
Which didn't seem helpful to me at all. So because of that, we're focusing on the fallacy of fairness in relationships. So in the fallacy of fairness, we feel resentful because what we think is fair is not being displayed by or agreed with by others. Example.
It's not fair. Sarah's boyfriend took her to Paris for her birthday and mine only took me to dinner. What? No, I didn't tell him I wanted to go away from my birthday. He should know. He knows about Sarah going to Paris.
How does this cognitive distortion hurt us? No, life is not fair, but more so, what is fair is subjective. What is expected in a relationship is based on preference and belief. And we become resentful because we mistake our opinion for fairness as an absolute common truth. Number 2, when we perceive something as fair or how someone should act in a relationship, we stop communicating. It's not right to just assume that our SO has the same beliefs and preferences that we have. We become resentful because we don't say anything and our partner doesn't know why, or they might not even know that we're resentful in the first place. Number 3, expecting everything to be fair all the time only sets you up for anger and unhappiness. Life not being fair is a very hard thing to upset, but obsessing over fairness only leaves you feeling helpless, right? If things aren't fair, then why try at all? That's a negative pattern of thinking. And you aren't helpless, and we'll talk about that in a second. So how can we fight this cognitive distortion? Well, for one, being mindful of fairness being subjective and that not everyone will agree with you. However, accepting that life isn't fair does not mean that you should not stand up for yourself when you're being discriminated against or when you're being treated badly. Number 2, in a relationship...
I'm sorry, but she's cooking. I'm sorry. Cognitive distortions. Nobody ever sat us down and said, let's have a conversation about cognitive distortions. Hey, class, here's a word we should incorporate into our daily vocabulary. Spectrum. Everything in life is on a spectrum. You trying to balance everything. You trying to balance your bank account. You're trying to balance your emotions. You're trying to balance every aspect of your life. Everything is on a spectrum. And when black and white thinking gets involved, black and white thinking will swing. This is a cognitive distortion. It'll swing you to a side, right? Everything should be fair is an extension of black and white thinking. But if I have my own definition of fair and I apply it to you and think like, and assume, oh, you should think the way I think, I'm going to take a lot of stuff personally. You're going to take a lot of stuff personally. But let me hit you upside your dome piece. You know, I love philosophy. Listen, I was telling my psychology teacher, I was like, you do know psychology was born out of philosophy. Yeah, but you know, the psychologist doesn't really like to get too philosophical. How, Sway? That's your mama. Philosophy is psychology's mama. How, Sway? So let me hit you with a philosophical quote here. The lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of understanding. That's the Kabbalion. The Kabbalion has 7 hermetic principles. Those principles all deal with some type of balance, some type of spectrum, right? So, the 7 principles. Mental transmutation. Oh, I can change my mind from being negative to positive. Yes, mental transmutation, right? The divine paradox. Oh, black and white thinking, but there's some balance in there. Yeah. The planes of correspondence. Vibration. Polarity. Rhythm, right? Causation. Gender. Mental gender. Look at that. All of those. If you've never read this book, go get it. The Kybalion. Kybalion. A study of Hermetic philosophy of ancient Egypt. The 7 universal laws all deal with some type of balance. Back to spectrum. Everything is on a spectrum. You cannot come into a relationship assuming that you're right off top. Well, my experience tells me. Here we go. Cognitive distortions. We've got Eugene, Birmingham, Alabama. Get in here.
How you doing, Zoe?
What's up, good brother? What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Man, now I will be honest. I did not listen long, but you said a word that's real good in my words I'm using nowadays. You were talking about intent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am a comedian, and I learned that to be a better comedian, I had to learn things. So I read a lot. I do a lot of studying. I be researching stuff. But now it's hard to talk to people because I don't know if they don't trust my intent or other people's intent is so bad they think it's mine too.
Very interesting stuff. Do me this solid, Eugene. Hang tough. When we come forward, we going back to Birmingham, Alabama to get a deeper perspective on what my brother Eugene is laying down.
And take a walk as the canes start to talk, cause I'm the big daddy king. I'm the big daddy king. I'm the big daddy king. My rhymes are so doping, the rappers be hoping to sound like me so soon I'll have to open a school of MCing for those who wanna be in my field in court.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Former President Donald Trump will be in Chicago this week. His campaign says he's attending the National Association of Black Journalists Convention on Wednesday. Trump will participate in a Q&A with political journalists that will concentrate on issues facing the black community. Vice President Kamala Harris was also invited to the convention, but she has not confirmed whether she will attend. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is defending his decision to suspend parts of a new law related to solitary confinement. It would have set a 4-hour limit on how long prisoners can be kept in solitary de-escalation confinement and limits the use of handcuffs and leg restraints on detainees. Adams, who is black, says the new law would have put the safety at risk for inmates, civilians, and correction officers. He says that was also the opinion of the federal monitor overseeing the Rikers Island prison system. Elected officials who backed the law criticized the mayor and says he's abusing his power. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
California Baptist University is honored to support active duty military, veterans, and families. CBU maximizes GI Bill benefits and military tuition assistance, making education affordable and accessible. Apply at calbaptist.edu.
Yeah, yo, come on. Here come the drums.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it. Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power.
Hey LA, be an eco-friendly hero. Join LADWP's Power Savers program and use your smart thermostat to help ease strain on the electric grid during peak electric demand. You'll save electricity while you lower your bill. Plus, as a power saver, you can get up to $185 in prepaid gift cards. Don't have a smart thermostat? No problem. Shop and sign up at ladwp.com/Power Savers program. That's ladwp.com/Power Savers program. To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriCanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriCanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Tune in to More Than That with Gia Peppers live this Sunday at 4 p.m. or wherever you listen to podcasts. This episode of More Than That is brought to you by Buick, combining beauty and technology to deliver luxurious experiences. Buick, exceptional by design.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us for a book party celebrating The Covenant with Black America 20 years later. Almost 2 decades ago, the Covenant book, compiled and edited by Tavis Smiley, climbed to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list and stayed there for weeks. The first book by a black-owned publisher to achieve such a feat. The urgency of the issues that matter most to black fellow citizens has only intensified, especially in this critical election year. On Wednesday evening, August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m., come meet Tavis Smiley alongside Covenant contributors including Cornel West, Connie Rice, Mark Ridley Thomas, Elisa Orduna, Tyrone Howard, and Melina Abdullah as they sign copies of The Covenant with Black America 20 years later. You can purchase your books on site and get them autographed. That's Wednesday evening, August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m. in the city of Los Angeles. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Here I am, R.A.W., a terrorist, here to bring trouble to
phony MCs, I move on and seize. I just conquer and solve another rapper with ease. Cause I'm at my apex and others are below. Nothing but a milliliter. I'm a kilo, second to none. Making MCs run, so don't try to step to me. Cause I ain't the one. I believe rappers just like Tylenol, and they know it. So I don't see why you all try to front, perpetrating a stunt when you know that I smoke you up like a blunt. I'm genuine like Gucci, raw like sushi. The stage of rage is what rap did to me, to make me wanna create chaos and mayhem. Cold rock a party until the AM. I'll make a muscle, grab the mic and hustle. While you stand dazed and amazed, I'll bust a little rhyme with authority, superiority, and captivate the whole crowd's majority. The rhymes I use definitely amuse, better than Dynasty or Hill Street Blues. I'm sure to score and door for more without a floor, cause I get raw.
Are you a worst-case scenario thinker? Is that the first place your mind goes whenever a difficult situation arises? We call that kind of thinking catastrophizing. Why do you do it? And what do you do about it? That's what I'm talking about today. I'm Dr. Tracy Marks, a psychiatrist, and I make mental health education videos. Here are a few underlying thoughts that lead to catastrophizing. Feeling you need to prepare yourself for whatever disaster is about to come. Believing you won't have much control over the situation or the skills to deal with it, and fearing the unknown. Some people are hardwired to feel less comfortable with uncertainty, so one way to deal with it is to search for the worst possible outcome. This concept goes along with the saying, it's better to work with the evil that you know than the evil you don't know. If you're motivated by that concept, you may find yourself creating these worst-case scenarios to prepare yourself for what can happen so that you're not caught off guard. The problem with this is your thinking isn't simply an exercise in disaster preparedness. You overestimate the risks of a negative outcome and then start to act as if the outcome is just inevitable. Here's a simple example. You have a test or presentation coming up. You think, if I don't do well, I'll fail and I'll never get into college. Or in the case of the presentation, I'll make such a fool of myself, no one will ever trust or respect me again, and I'll probably lose my job. Now, what's the difference between catastrophizing and planning? If you were simply thinking of all the possibilities so that you could prepare yourself, the extreme outcomes would motivate you to study harder or do more research for your presentation, or even practice what you're going to say so that it comes out smoothly. These additional efforts would give you more confidence, and you could be in a place of accepting whatever consequences come because you know you did your best. That's what happens for the person who is thinking about negative consequences but not catastrophizing. For the person who is...
Come on, Dr. Tracy never leaves any meat on the bone. We love her work, man. But we're talking about cognitive distortions. Assumptions, projections, personalizations. You know what we do in relationship. We take everything so personal when it probably should remain impersonal, right? Cognitive distortions are characterized by misinterpretations or misperceptions in communication brought on by exaggerated, irrational, or incongruent thought processes. Heavy stuff, right? See, if nobody ever told you to look for such a thing, when it happens to you in a relationship, you try to adjust and adapt and try to figure it out on the fly. But no, these are little earmarkers for something probably bigger. Issues that might be bigger, right? Is your inner critic responsible for the self-fulfilling prophecy of rejection and abandonment you may experience or have experienced in past relationships? How can your inner critic become a motivator instead of an internal hater? True or false? Acceptance of your own moral feelings reduces the likelihood of personalizing, i.e., assuming the intent of others. In other words, this is my definition, right, of morality. And it is not my place to impose my definition of integrity or morality within the jurisdiction of your soul, right? You are the governor of your soul. For me, this is me. But oftentimes, we try to hold our partners to the standards we do a poor job of holding ourselves to. True or false? Assumed intent is a reflection of not only past traumas you may have experienced and your level of consciousness as a result, but also the way you have treated yourself. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone line. I want to get back to my brother Eugene. Eugene, now that I've reframed the topic for you, do you have a better understanding of what we laying down this evening?
Yeah, it pretty much was on the same page. I just had to swap lanes a little bit. But I guess sometimes I am the culprit in the conversation.
How?
Because when I boiled it down to it, sometimes I was thinking that the conversation went bad because of right and wrong, when really it's sometimes a conversation of learned and unlearned. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I be being penalized twice for learning something that you didn't, or I had to wait for your thought process to catch up with mine, but I'm trying to be ahead of the game.
Or vice versa, for your thought process to catch up to theirs.
That's why I said sometimes it's me.
Right.
So that's why I've been bagging out, and I hate it because as a comedian, I have to meet new people to understand that type of person. Mm-hmm. But to cause less confusion, I'm trying to step away from them some.
But you know what you're doing.
So
this is what I like to call protective adaptation.
Okay.
I'm trying to protect the relationship. I might not want to lose it, so I don't want to have an argument. So I'm going to adapt in a protective way. Let me step back for a second because I don't want to offend. Listen to me when I tell you this, brother.
I'm listening hard.
Hurt folk, right, have the worst kind of grace.
Mm. You would think it'd be the other way around.
Do you hear me? Hurt folk got the worst kind of, because listen, when you're hurting, you're focused on pain. You're not typically focused on healing, which is a lifelong process. When you're hurting, you're focused on, how do I stop this hurt? So typically, we don't have no grace to give. It's just, let me get away. Let me move away. This ain't right. Hurt folk got the worst kind of grace. It's conditional. It's judgmental. It's condescending, right? It's going to say, I knew you weren't a good person. Ooh, it ain't even going to see the humanity in you, brother.
No.
So you could learn from the situation, and you possibly could have become a better person through the situation, but you still did what you did.
Correct.
Do you see? So all that learning, that don't mean nothing. I can't heal while I'm feeling the hurt. That's so many people are stuck in that space. Stay with me, Eugene. When we come forward, we're going to get Eugene's final word, Birmingham, Alabama.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
Oh, man. Looks like Bobby needs a ride to the airport again.
Grab the keys.
Who's taking Auntie and her friends to the swap meet?
Grab the keys.
How about we, drop these boxes off at Miss Johnson?
Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, you're all about getting things done. So do it all in a Chevy SUV. From the versatile Equinox and Sporty Blazer to the roomy Traverse, our lineup of SUVs will carry you through every adventure. All you have to do is...
grab the keys.
That's how we do. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% APR on all 2024 Silverado 1500, Blazer EV, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Colorado models. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment, 17.0%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 7/31/24.
Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees.
Around here, we don't believe in victimhood. We believe in raising our voices, amplifying black voices in the climate conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, excuse me, take a few minutes to mellow out. Big Daddy Kane is on the mic, and I'ma tell about a minimum length of rhymes with strength and power. So listen to the man of the hour. Flow and go to a slow tempo, and you know, sing ho, swing low, then yo, the show will go on as I perform, transforming on stage like a Decepticon. But I'm not animated like a cartoon, I'm for real, shooting lyrics like a harpoon. Across the crowd, the listeners and spectators, so let's groove with the smooth operator. Just sound so smooth. Just sound so smooth.
Do you use should statements such as I should be happy or I should lose weight? Should statements are a type of negative thinking pattern known as a cognitive distortion. They negatively impact your mental health and contribute to anxiety and depression. Should statements can also make you feel as if you have failed. For example, Michaela has a fear of flying, but she has to travel by air for her job as an IT consultant. She tells herself, I should be over this fear by now. I shouldn't feel this way, and I shouldn't be going away and leaving the children. Michaela's self-talk actually leads her to feel more anxious. She also feels a sense of shame as she believes she isn't living up to her potential. Albert Ellis, the founder of Rational Emotive Behaviour Therapy, or REBT, said that commands such as should, ought and must contribute to and maintain psychological distress.
Pause. You should have just told me the truth. was scared. The human moment never, ever trumps these cognitive distortions. Well, I ain't gonna say never, ever, but in most cases, they don't trump. Do you see what I'm saying? Your lie caused me pain. My pain takes priority over your human moment. Are you listening? Well, why shouldn't it? It's my hurt and it hurt me. Do you see? The justification to say, you owe me, I'm entitled. As opposed to being in a shared moment to say, there are two valid experiences here. Remember, go back to the book I told you guys to go read, The KBLA, which talks about this pendulum that's swinging through this spectrum that we call life. There are good moments, bad moments. But this book instructs us to stay in the middle of the pendulum and not be, carried off into these swinging moments of good and bad. In a bad time, stay centered. In a good time, stay centered. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Right? We don't know how to do that because the wound is our boss. This unhealed wound, that's our boss. Let me get Eugene back in here. Eugene, you're finished. Your final thought.
Final thought is I appreciate the healing that I got today.
My
like
brother.
I said, man, I oftentimes, and this one of the worst things I could do is shut up. Because I'm a talker. I'm a comedian. Mm-hmm. But I also do a little listening, but, man, it hurts so bad not to be able to say what I think because I don't like the words that I say either, but it is what's on the other side of the equal sign.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. A little patience, a little discipline, a little self-awareness will go a long way, man. I appreciate you bringing Birmingham, Alabama. I'm going to say War Eagle. My son went to Auburn. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Voice of Reason. We're on fire tonight. We're talking about cognitive distortions. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Let's get to Dustin, Baltimore, Maryland. Dustin, get in here. What are your thoughts?
How you doing today, boss?
Yo, what up, good brother? How are you?
Nothing much. This is a real good topic, man. All of them are. I'm not even lying, but this is a good one. I think we don't take the time to do nothing. Like, you know how you meet somebody and you really spend a lot of time in awe of the stuff y'all have in common. Mm-hmm. But we don't really spend it, and you respect people for it. Mm-hmm. But we don't look at the reason that people respect them. Mm-hmm. My mother used to tell me, don't look at the person, look at what's happening around them, and you'll understand them better.
Right.
But if we don't think like that, we usually thinking only at what we see.
Right.
Every single person in this world is what they put on. You like your physical projection of your mental self.
Come on, man. That's Carl Jung's mask.
Exactly. But that doesn't stop for anybody. I don't care how real you is.
Yeah.
I don't care how real you keep it or what you do for others. I'm learning this right now. I don't care what it is. You still wake up and present yourself a certain way. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a never-ending process. Every day you have to deal with the way that person sees themselves.
100%. 100%.
That's all. That was it.
But let me hit you with this, Dustin.
Yes, sir.
Alfred Korzybski, famed linguist, said the map is not the territory. And I'm going to recontextualize it. The mask is not the person. Mm. The mask is not the person. And oftentimes, listen, bruh, the mask we wear is like window shopping. It's not really shopping. You window shopping. We get caught up in the presentation, the persona, the performance. Do you understand? The mask is not the person, just like the map is not the territory. Now, as long as the image stays intact, we think we got something real. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So the image is connected to the performance. The image stays untainted. The performance stays consistent. This is why I need consistency. Listen, you know why? Because your wound is a bottomless pit that has no limits on its appetite. So if the image stays intact and the supply chain continues to deliver every day at 9 a.m. without fail, oh, you're a great person. This is a relationship goals. This is the type of person everybody should have. Do you see?
I understand.
Hey, man, I appreciate you bringing Baltimore, Maryland in the building. Thank you for the call. My friend, yo, if you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. We on fire right now. And one of my favorite callers, I love all of the callers, but one of my favorites, wait, I'm going to hold them until we go over to the second hour. But let me just say this. This weekend, the Voice of Reason, your brother, KBLA's own Voice of Reason, I'm doing my first relationship masterclass in 2 years. It's going to be amazing. It's a 2-day event. Day 1 is philosophy. Day 2 is the clinical aspect of it. Man, when I tell you it's going to be so fire, all you got to do is go to onestream.tv/the-relationship-ER. Sign up today. This weekend, it's going to be amazing. I'm bringing in a special guest clinician for day 2. Starts on Saturday, 12 noon. Gonna be amazing. Something you don't want to miss. I created a curriculum based off of my new book. When I tell you it's fire, 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 you can't miss it, all right? onestream.tv/the-relationship-ER. Sign up. When we come forward, we going to Miami, Florida.
Listen, rappers act so wild and love the profile, frontin' hard but ain't got no style. I give nightmares to those who compete. Freddy Krueger walking on King Street, confuse and lose, abuse and bruise the crews and choose to use my name wrong. They pay dues. Destruction from the exterminator, but in a calm manner, 'cause I'm a smooth operator.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Former President Donald Trump will be in Chicago this week. His campaign says he's attending the National Association of Black Journalists